It's the third of 4 town hall meetings here at the August Wilson Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The American Urban Radio Network's own Bev Smith is the host,
and the theme is the endangered black man.
Now, here's your host, Bev Smith.
The reason why I wanted to do this is because I am tired, sick and tired of the devastation to our community, but in particular to a black man. He is attacked externally by the police.
That's Pittsburgh resident Jordan Miles, whose story made national headlines after he was allegedly beaten by 3 white police officers while walking in his neighborhood and unarmed. Miles, alongside his mother Therese and head of the Black Political Empowerment Project, Tim Stevens, gave their account of what happened.
There are a lot of people listening, baby, that need to hear your story. And hopefully, when you tell your story, some other mother's child, some other black boy will not have to face what you had to face. Tell me about that night.
I came out of my mother's house and I seen a car. I saw a car that was just sitting at the top of the street. Didn't pay any mind. As I continued to walk up the street, the car sped up close to me at a very high speed, and it almost forced me up onto the curb. 3 men jumped out asking for a gun, money, and drugs. I started to turn back and run, fearing for my life, when I took a couple paces and slipped on the sidewalk. From that moment, I didn't get back up. The 3 men began to kick, punch, knee me while I was on the ground. After I was handcuffed after a while, and the beating still continued.
What do they teach police officers about African American people that would make them want to grab the braids? Hello, somebody? Out of this child's head and pull the braids out of his head. I couldn't even deal with that. How did you deal with that? Because in the photograph, half his hair was gone.
For a long time, I myself had nightmares because I kept imagining how it must have felt, how much pain he had to be in, and what it would feel like. You know, I would just grab my own hair and just pull, and just pulling it a little bit hurts. You don't want to lose a lot of your hair that way. It's torture.
A year ago in the summer, I don't know if I told you all this, Jordan and Therese, I'm working on the flowers in front of my house and cutting my little hedge. 2 officers pull up in a van. And I said, well, this ought to be interesting. We talked for 20, 30 minutes. The black male had been on the force for over 20 years, Bev Smith. You know what he told me? This was unsolicited. I'm playing with my flowers. He said in the Pittsburgh Police Department, and this may be across the country for that matter, there is a culture. When you come into the department, it is understood if someone runs, you beat them. You give them a message. They were offered $180,000. Why was that offered, folks, if nothing happened?
Well,
why was it offered if nothing happened?
And was a condition of that offering that you not talk to the media or anyone? Was there a silence clause in that agreement?
I didn't even see any paperwork or anything. The answer was just no. And our attorney handled it, but I did not accept it. Jordan didn't want to accept it because a judge and a jury has to hear and weigh that evidence. We cannot just shut up and go away.
When I hear a siren, I freeze up. My heart starts pounding. I get nervous, get sweaty. That shouldn't be the case because I should know that cops are supposed to serve and protect.
Now, we're not talking about all police officers. The majority of the police officers, we need them. We need them in our community, and we need them to do the right thing. But we also need them to stand up when other officers are wrong and do the right thing. And we need the highest police officer in the country, the Attorney General, to do the right thing. I want all of you just to clap for him for coming forward, because he's reliving this over and over again.